Hello, and welcome everybody. Today we are just jumping right into it. Normally we play a song to start us out as an intro, but because we're trying to squeeze two topics in one, we're going to try to do this in a timely manner. So I have with me today Daughter of Christ and Sister K. So I want to just give a quick introduction to our sisters here joining us and then introduce the topic. So welcome, Daughter of Christ. You want to say hi to the people, and then we'll pass it over to Sister K.
Hello, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you for coming, and thank you to Sister Kay. Also, she's our guest. God bless you, sister. We love you, and we love all our brothers and sisters. Thank you for all the encouragement you've given us. For recently we've been pouring a lot more into this channel, and my brother Jai especially. So we thank you. We have had a lot of you come at us, I guess, or come for us. So we want to honor that by responding to it and considering what you've said. And I pass it over to my brother Jai.
Yes, and exactly. So that's kind of the motivation for this part of the stream today. But before we get into that, I just want to pass to Sister K. Sister K, thank you Sister K, for joining us, and God bless you.
Grace and peace of Christ be with you, brother and sister. Thank you for having me on this stream. I do appreciate what it is that you and daughter do on this channel and on other platforms. It's definitely a blessing and it's edifying to the body of Christ. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. God bless.
All right. So a couple things that I want to share. If you sisters want to share some Bible verses before we begin, but I just want to say as an introduction for what we're doing today, we're going to be discussing first the video that I released last night, published it last night, to do with Kenny Bomer. And in the video, I showed an interaction that Kenny Bomer had, and in this interaction, he ended it by telling this man that he was going to take off his belt and whip him. A lot of comments that I got back were, "Hey, Kenny gave a clarification. You guys are taking this out of context. You guys have the opportunity now to make things right. Just delete the video, and we won't hold it against you." Other people were being a little bit more vicious with their language, saying things like "we're slandering, we're lying, we're doing this out of hatred," things like that. Very loaded language. So in light of that, so everybody knows what we're doing here. I just want to read some scriptures just real quick to get us started. In Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17, it says, "The first one who states his case seems right until the other comes and examines him." And a very similar passage to that is Proverbs 18, verse 13, just a few verses earlier. It says, "If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame." So, what I want to do today with my sisters here is kind of lay out why we produced that video. And not when I say we, I'm not including Sister K in there, throwing her, and she didn't produce the video. So anyone who's upset for that video being out, don't be mad at her because she
Yeah,
didn't.
don't come for my sister.
Oh no,
So,
they can come.
okay, that can go. So Sister K, just to be clear, she didn't have anything to do with the production of the video. She came on as we'll get into, but I just want to be clear on that we're going to be discussing the response that we've been getting from some of the people, which, by the way, it's a very small percentage of the people, overwhelming support from the community, but the few comments that were coming in, we wanted to, like Daughter of Christ said, we wanted to honor them and say, okay, look, we see what you guys are saying, and we're willing to show you guys, yeah, here's being transparent. We're going to show you guys why we said what we said, why we concluded what we concluded, and without just jumping to conclusions or just believing someone because he says something. Daughter of Christ, if you want to share any passages in the Bible just to kind of get our minds, our hearts in the right place where we want to be looking at, and then we'll ask Sister Kid the same question, and then we'll get right into it.
I want you to look at Ephesians 5, verse 11, which says, "Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness." Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, i.e., Islam, for example, but instead expose them. Our ministry is to Muslims. Muslims are in darkness. We're meant to not take part in the fruit of the works, but expose them. We don't go for people, we go for the works of darkness. Now, when we came across Kenny, we saw works of darkness. We saw him attacking an innocent victim, and we heard the testimony of the victim, and later we heard Kenny's story, and that's why we're doing this. Now I'm going to ask you, brother, and then I'm going to bring Sister Kay in.
Okay.
When you, just for people to know, when you decide to make a video, a short video, do you just wake up one morning, see something about Kenny, and just release the video the next hour? Is that what you do?
No. That has been an accusation, as if when we make videos, we're just doing this out of a whim. Like, we just see something and we're, oh, this could be portrayed negatively against this person, so I'm gonna just release it and publish it right away without doing any research, any looking into it at all. I try to the best of my ability to research things before I put them out, and when this case wasn't any different. I have similar videos like this on the channel that do focus on individuals, and as the video was going on, we tried to introduce Islam into it and say, look, what would motivate someone to be racist if they're a Muslim? And we went into the sources for that. So we looked into it. I looked into it. I, to the best of my ability, looked at both sides of the story, did as much digging as I could, and then I prayed about it. I, look to people who say, hey, can you take a look at this? Do you think that there's anything I can do? Can we edit this another way? Do you think this is right or wrong? How should I word this? Once we are good with that, we pray again, and then we release it. So it's not just an out of a whim, like someone publishes something about somebody else that I don't like, or as if I have a list of people that I just want to just go after,
yeah.
which is not true.
Not at all.
Kenny's not someone that's on my radar, honestly. And we're gonna get into this again, but we're just to kind of before we go to
people who think this is easy, have never made a short video, including some YouTubers whose career is just to put on a camera and rant for 3 hours at a time. They've never actually made a video. To make a video, you have to decide what goes in it, what doesn't go in it. You have to edit it. You have to think of the length, because then if it's too long, people won't watch, and you won't get enough attention to the issue, the important issue that we're bringing, which is racism and aggression from Muslim. Kenny is not just any regular Muslim that we took on. He's someone who's chosen this darkness. He's chosen to follow a white racist prophet, and we've shown all the sources of that racism. If for someone who says, I'm not racist, I love my black brothers, he wasn't even born into this darkness. He's chosen it, and he's an imam, so he's meant to be the highest sort of spiritual example for other Muslims to follow, and he flips out on a whim against someone completely innocent, which we will go into that person who has nothing to do with anything, who's not into the apologetics and polemics world, is not related to Kenny in any way, and who we think is a brother in Christ too, just going about his business, not looking for BLM, not looking for clout, not looking for any career. He's already got an amazing career, unrelated to apologetics, polemics, faith, or anything. So we looked at all the information, and we presented as much of it in the video as possible, but there is more to it, and we were going to leave it behind. We weren't going to address it again until we got that backlash from people saying we're slandering. By the way, Kenny's not the only one. We went after Uthman ibn Fibn. Why? Because of his lies and deceit. And we went after Kenny because of the same darkness that comes from Islam, the lies and deceit, plus racism. And that's why we have Sister Kay here, because she is from America, right? And I'm sorry, sister, we don't like to bring color into it, but, that's who you are. And we want your perspective, because, for people who are not from America, certain language may not mean much. Like, I know as an Arab, if someone says abd to a black guy, that means slave.
So someone in Arabic as well, if someone says the word faham, it means coal. So if you translate it into English and you hear, hey, this person's coal or something, you might be like, what?
That doesn't mean anything.
But in Arabic, it's really offensive to a black person.
Extremely offensive to call someone, oh, you're coal. Yeah, because it means you're black like coal.
Yeah.
And it's in an offensive, derogatory manner. So we want to ask Sister Kay, and I'm putting it out there for you. if someone says to you or
Well,
a black brother of yours that, what would you be thinking?
yeah.
Like,
Honestly,
oh,
when
I'm gonna whip you with my belt, and that person is white. What would you?
especially given the setting, like especially he's what he said was very racially uh like it was very abrasive. It was
Mm,
very to tell a black man you're going to take your belt off and whip him, really? Like honestly, as an African American, what else would you translate that as? What exactly would you didn't say let's go outside and I'll tell you what. Let's handle this man to man. No, you're going to whip him.
right.
Wow. Like that's the language that you want to use. And for anybody to defend that just because what? You know what? Can I can I um can I
Yeah,
read
please,
my
if
scripture
you
first,
have
please?
any passages that you'd
Yeah,
like to,
please do.
yeah, please do.
Okay, I wanted to read two scriptures here. I'm going to start in 1 Samuel 16:7. And this is, Samuel as he's choosing who was going to be the next king of Israel. But this is very sticks out to me a lot. It says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." So, like us as Christians, we are not to like judge by the outward appearance, right? We're not to, judge in that manner. We can't say that with Islam because we know what their peaceful prophet had to say about people that were darker skinned.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll go to James 2. I'm going to start at 1. I think I'll end at 8, I believe. I'm sorry. Let me just make sure. Okay. Yes, I'll start at 2. I think I'll end at 8. Um, it says, "My brothers, show no partiality as you hold the faith in our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory. For if a man wearing a gold ring and fine clothing comes into your assembly, and a poor man in shabby clothing also comes in, and if you pay attention to the one who wears the fine clothing and say, 'You sit here in a good place,' while you say to the poor man, 'You stand over there,' or 'Sit down at my feet,' have you not then made distinctions among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts?" Right? And listen, my beloved brother, has not God chosen those who are poor in the world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom, which he has promised to those who love him? But you have dishonored the poor man. Are not the rich ones who oppress you and the ones who drag you in court? Are they not the ones who blaspheme the honorable name by which you are called? And the reason I brought these scriptures up, the first one for obvious reasons, and this one, it's racism is the sin of partiality. Let's call it for what it is. It is a sin. And to say that someone else is absolved from the sin of partiality based on who they decide to marry or be friends with or what music they listen to, I don't see that anywhere in scripture. No sin is, you know, has befallen you, which is not common to man. So I'm just trying to understand how people can absolve people of a sin that anybody can be a part of. And that might ruffle some feathers, but it's sin. And call racism sin for what it is, you cannot absolve somebody and say, well, he he has a or whatever, or I like black and chicken, therefore it
Yeah,
can't be racist.
But I want to ask you, sister and brother Jai, wasn't Muhammad married to a black woman?
yeah. Muhammad was married to a black woman, and he also had black slaves too.
Yeah.
So he
And he
had
was,
he had
which woman was that?
that was Soda. So she was black,
Right.
and so the fact that just for people who don't know, that's what Kenny, one of his reasonings for saying, okay, so just to kind of explain this a little bit, what the guy who Kenny was targeting, he went on to post and say that one of the things that Kenny did outside of the supermarket was say more racial slurs out of his window, like when he's like out his window, maybe he's driving by or maybe he's walking by or something. So he was saying that he was saying these racial slurs. Now Kenny denied that, and he was saying that the reason why he would never do that kind of thing is because he has a black wife.
Mhm.
So just because you have a black wife,
Muhammad had a black wife.
Muhammad had a black wife.
He still called black people raisin heads.
Yeah.
And whoever wants to look at Satan, look at this black man. And a plague is a black woman with unkempt hair in my dream. So yeah, he so what? Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And he even had black people follow him like Bilal, and yet he treated black people as second classes. And we've got lots of, and he was a slave master of black people. He thought 2 black people equaled 1 Arab person when he was trading slaves, and he was married to a black woman.
Yeah. And you know, there's
so what? So what? Yeah. We laugh at this reasoning.
Yes, one of the things that racist people commonly say is like, oh, I can't be racist because I have black friends. I mean, so you have a black wife, you have Hispanic children. I mean, let's get into that a little bit. So before we pass it over to our sister Kay to share her comments on this, I just want to say that this is not the first time Kenny has had a history of this kind of stuff. When our brother Ariel got doxxed by the Islamic doxer, let's call him that. Everyone knows who we're referring to, the Islamic doxer from Trinidad.
His name starts with I and ends with jazz.
Okay, so that's who we're talking about. When Ariel was doxxed by him, one of the other comments that the Islamic doxer made was a racial slur that you say to Hispanics. You specifically say that term to it's very commonly said, it's a derogatory term said to Mexicans in America. And when Ijaz, okay, I said his name, but when he said that, then the day after this happened, or the day after the video was released on this exposing him, who defended him? Kenny.
Oh, Kenny, the father of the half Hispanic children.
Yeah, so
he
Kenny,
defended him.
Yeah, so Kenny, who has Hispanic children, is now hosting the doxer who called Ariel by a derogatory racist word that's directed to Hispanic people.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went on that stream and I questioned them on that. I said, how can you allow this sort of racism? It's inexcusable. And Kenny's argument, as well as the doxer's argument, was, well, he's from Trinidad, or, you know, he was saying that he's from Trinidad, and Trinidad, you know, he was saying that this is also like a Latin American country, and because you have the word Latin in there, I can't be anti-Latin because I'm from a Latin country. Okay. Anyone who, when you think of Latin America or something like that, you think of Spanish speaking, you know, Portuguese, like, you know, in Brazil or something like that, like it's Latin. So you don't think of Trinidad as people.
Yeah, it's called the Caribbean. He clearly doesn't know his geography.
So here's the thing. The reason why I bring this up is to say that Kenny was the one that was defending him on that point. He heard the word and he was defending him.
Yeah, and he didn't care about his Hispanic wife or his half Hispanic children when he on purpose defended his brother, knowing that we actually had voice recordings of him, Ijaz, racially abusing that Hispanic brother.
Yes.
Kenny came to his defense, but then later on, guess what happened? The thieves fought each other.
They had a falling out, and then all of a sudden the video is private. To this day, it's a private video. You can't see it.
Yeah, and guess who else disowned Ijaz with his racism? The big boss Shabir distanced himself from Ijaz in a big Facebook post saying, we don't condone racism.
Yes.
Which Ijaz was party to, he was a perpetrator of, and was defended by our great friend Kenny until he repents. And he didn't care about his Hispanic family then, did he?
So just I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. You guys are making me laugh, but just to be clear on this, the fact that he has family that is Hispanic didn't stop him from allowing racism to occur or justifying or defending racism just because this was his Muslim friend. So I don't buy the excuse, oh, I have a black foster family and I have a black wife, therefore I can't be racist. When I've seen you defend racism against our brother Ariel, who is from the Dominican Republic. So Sister Kay, let's pass it over to you. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, nothing is more insulting to people's intelligence. And then honestly, me and I'm not the spokesperson for the Black Christian community. I'll be very clear on that. Um, it's very insulting when you say, and I listen, I've had interactions like this where people will say, well, you're different. You're not like them. And you have to, you have to dig and get to the meat of what it is that they're trying to say. And their prejudices come out towards Black people. And then
Right.
honestly, like if it's a brother in the faith, you check them and you graciously check them. If it's someone that's outside, you graciously check them also.
Mm.
Um, and it seems like Kenny is getting a pass because, well, I like the hip of the hop, and I listen to R&B music, and I have a black wife. These are literally like the red flags of a racist trying to hide behind his racist actions.
Mhm.
And
Right.
it makes no sense. And honestly, the crazy part is, again, it's the sin of partiality. I still
Mhm.
want to know, since people are so good with scripture, what sin can somebody not be capable of committing because of who they marry?
Right.
Period.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and
he
so
honestly, he's a wicked person. You could tell.
yeah, I've had personal encounters with Kenny where this guy is just nasty. He's aggressive. He's insulting, and he's unnecessarily so. Like it's not like you're just you're
Pushed. Yeah.
yeah. Like I pushed him to say something. The guy is just a nasty dude. And I have someone who told me, hey, I have an experience with Kenny. I went to one of his debates. After the debate, I was talking to him, and all of a sudden someone came up and they wanted to interject in the conversation, and Kenny just lost it on this guy. He was just calling him boy and calling him this and that, and he would all sorts of things. So this type of behavior, this aggressive type of way, that's just how Kenny is. Now that doesn't now let's get into whether or not he's racist now. So Kenny is ready to admit, willing to admit that he was aggressive here, and he's saying that this was wrong of him
Because he got caught.
because yeah,
I guarantee you, if there was not footage of him being aggressive, he would have denied that too.
right.
Sister
And so
and brother, before you
I
hit
guarantee
play,
you.
yeah,
can you describe like who it is that actually took the video? Because this is
yeah,
not staged. This seems like, you know,
No.
the story behind it seems very, very
yeah,
honestly, God is exposing the darkness that is
Right.
Kenny Bomer.
You will not believe, sister.
the
The
accusations.
the person who took the video from behind. Now talk, we've had talk, her talk that this was staged. Number one, the audio is terrible. Okay, so
Right.
this to me looks like, because it doesn't bring the interaction from the beginning, which tells me that this is not staged, because it feels like a member of the public was there, something had already gone down, so they took their phone out to record in case it happens again, because that's what I would have done if I was in that queue and someone was being rude to the
Mm,
lady behind the counter. Then I'd start recording in case it happens again.
yeah.
And then you will see now, from that's what it feels like. And that person happened to be the one with the camera, happened to be a TikToker. That
No, no,
is that true, brother?
no. So no, no. So someone else is recording this, but a TikToker picked up on
A
it.
TikToker picked up on it, and
Yeah.
that TikToker had lots of followers.
Yeah. So in other words, it's not like someone had a bunch of like they were known for making these sort of stories up
No,
or
not
anything
at
like that.
all.
And by the way, were you finished? I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt you.
yeah, I
Okay.
finished.
So I just wanted to add this in there as well. So how did I first come across this? Someone asked, okay, how did you first come across this? I want to show exactly how I first came across this. We're
Yeah.
gonna put it on the screen now.
Listen up.
And by the way, the idea that I am selective in the editing of this clip and I'm removing some part. I was actually people are saying that no, you're not being honest. You're not releasing all of the clips. You're only taking parts here, parts there. This is the entirety of
That's
the
the whole
footage.
clip. There's nothing else
There's nothing
we're
else.
holding back.
There's nothing that I've seen in secret that I've edited out and that no one else has seen. It's all public. It's 38 seconds long. That's the entire footage that's been made public that I've seen. I haven't seen any other footage.
Yeah, like I
So
say,
I just want to say that the idea that I am holding back footage because I know if I release the whole context that this is going to clear things up.
yeah, we've had people
It's
say,
a lie.
"Oh, release the whole thing. It's not in context." Blah blah blah. That's all we have.
Yeah.
We're not holding back. That's what I'm saying. People who accuse us of holding footage, they've never done a video. You've never sat down and tried to put together a video. That's all we have, and that also tells me that this is an impromptu and not a setup.
Yeah.
Because we only have this short interaction, and in that short interaction, all I see is aggression from one side and zero from the other. Zero. Not even standing back up to anything. Completely non-confrontational, completely peaceful, completely controlled and measured on one side, and a complete psycho on the other. So if you ask me whose testimony I choose to believe as a Christian,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So when Kenny gave his side of the story, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but we're going to come back to this. When Kenny gave his side of the story, he's just wanting people to assume that this guy, oh, this is just some random black dude. He's probably a thug, or he's probably this, he's probably not.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. That's the impression he was
Yeah,
trying.
that was the impression that I got from listening to what he said. It almost sounded like one of those he was trying to paint this young man as a horrible villain.
Yes.
That would justify his behavior.
And the sad part is
if you listen, he said he smelled of alcohol. But if you listen to what Kenny told on himself, he said the black guy told the lady, "Good job," and that triggered him to interact with the black guy.
Right.
So he told on himself. So even if somebody had just took 2 minutes to listen and not be ran by emotions, they would have been like, well, then why would that cause you to be upset if he told her good job?
Yeah, if someone
unless you're berating her.
If someone said to a cashier behind the counter, "Good job, lady," would I fly into a rage? That tells you that person is unhinged. He's completely flying off the handle at the smallest things that strangers. Oh, he's being a smart aleck. He said to the lady, "You doing a good job." What?
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why he more than likely said good job to her was because he was berating her. Kenny was berating her. Right. And so in an effort, and this is how the guy didn't even try to have conflict with Kenny. He told the lady, "Hey, good job," to encourage her, but also to kind of like curtail the wickedness that was being spewed from Kenny. And then Kenny thinks he can jump in another man's face. Sir, you can do it with women, but it ain't gonna go out too well with men.
That's the problem, Kenny, and to these guys who have these allegations of being wife beaters, men will hit back.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the lady behind the counter wasn't his wife.
Yeah,
it wasn't. Oh, I'm just dealing with my wife and I'm about to whip her with my belt. You stay out of another man's business. No, it's another lady who doesn't belong to him, who's not one of his 4 wives, right hand possessed. She is a lady with a dignity.
Yeah.
And he was just encouraging, he wasn't even addressing, he was encouraging her to boost her morale because obviously she was being berated beforehand.
Okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have angered him, would it?
Right. So in Kenny's portrayal of this guy, he's trying to make him sound like a thug. He's trying to make him sound like some bum who's just drunk and he's smelling like alcohol, and I could smell alcohol coming off of him. And so that's Kenny's portrayal of the situation. Again, you might have emotional attachments to Kenny for whatever reason. That shouldn't stop you from being objective or trying your best to be objective to what happened. Some people, they have these unholy allegiances. You think of like James White and Yasser Qadhi, for example. Sometimes some Christians will make these allegiances with Muslims that I can't understand. I don't know why.
I can't understand it.
You treat these Muslims better than you treat your own. I mean, look at how if anyone has had a negative encounter with James White, for example, maybe not many people have, but if you have, you know that he treats Muslims like Yasser Qadhi and things like that much, much, much better and much more gracious than he treats his fellow
Christians,
Christian brothers
yeah.
and sisters. And that's what happens a lot of times. If you have your allegiances to, let's say, to Kenny, and you treat him in a way that is way better or more honorable than you treat your own brothers and sisters, then that's your own issue. But we're gonna,
I agree. I
yeah,
I agree. Like again, you weren't given grace at all, were you? So it's just very interesting. But again, let's just
No, but it goes against the Bible that people
yes.
claim to know. Galatians 6:10. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially those who belong to the family of believers, to the house of God. These are the people. Christians are the ones who you should give more grace, who you should give more of
more
a
benefit of
more
the doubt.
benefit of the doubt.
Not
Not
not say
not
that I'm
take the
I'm doing this out of
unbeliever.
hatred. I'm doing this out
No,
of,
don't take the. He could have approached anyone. Could have approached us, and because people have approached us, we're doing this video to show our evidence. You give us the benefit of the doubt. Oh no, you give an abuser, an unbeliever, follower of a cult who hates the cult that hates women and hates black people. You give who chose that
the guy
himself
who his public
over your
career,
brother
his public career is based on hating Jesus
and
and
hating
trying to
Christians
debunk Christianity.
and doxing Christians. You know, he doxed our brother, the cross and the crescent.
Yeah, yeah.
He almost destroyed his life.
Yes.
He almost lost his job. His wife wouldn't sleep for months because of it. And he's got children. He's got other family members. Brother Cross and the Crescent. He talking about destroying lives and destroying. He actually doxed, which is a crime.
Yeah.
That brother, for real. And instead of siding with our Christian brothers who suffered because of that unbeliever, and surprise, surprise, the new victim is also a believer. He wasn't drunk. We'll go into who
we're
he
gonna
was
get into the details. So
yeah.
I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but I just wanted to say, okay, how did I find out about this? Okay, let's just see. I was watching this stream with Apostate Prophet, Robert Spencer, David Wood.
Yeah.
We have Radical Moderate, as he pointed out. He said this is the best $5 he ever spent.
Well done, Radical.
And so this is it here. Okay, just gonna be a couple seconds after David said this. I started investigating.
Yeah, we found out David was right. He also does his research. Doesn't just jump on things either.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to what David said.
But it's Kenny. He's in, I think, a deli, and it's not clear, but he was saying some disrespectful words towards the woman who was, I don't know, making a sandwich or something like this. And a young black guy there said, "Hey, you shouldn't be talking to women like that. So, hey, quit being disrespectful towards women." And Kenny turned and said, "I will take my belt off and whip you, boy," or something like that. I'll take my belt off and whip you. Not the boy. I don't think he said boy, but I'll take my belt off and whip you. Said that to a black man. So everyone's calling him racist Kenny now.
Okay. So when David Wood hears about a white guy telling a black guy that he's going to whip him, that is Kenny.
That is the conclusion.
Anybody who hears that is gonna think, especially this dude's he's in Texas, he's in the South. He's telling a black guy he's gonna whip him. That's the connotation you're gonna get. So I heard that, and then I started to do some digging. I just want to give Sister K a chance to speak here. You want to share your thoughts, and then we're gonna get into exactly who this guy is,
who the victim is.
Should we believe him who gave a statement? And he has credibility.
Yeah.
Or do we listen to Kenny because someone has a shared experience with him and now has allegiances and alliances with him, just like James White and Yasser Qadhi?
Yeah, and instead of having the allegiance come to mind, they should have checked on the victim. Did they even check? I don't think they did, because they would have found out what we found out.
Yeah.
But here you go.
So you just want to hear one side of the story. You just want to hear Kenny's side because he's your friend
because
or whatever.
Because of course he's gonna say, yes, I was racist. Yes, I did it.
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. So Sister K.
Sister.
No, I think, like you said, I think it's terrible when you form these wicked allegiances because partiality, actually. You're showing partiality because of whatever your reasons or your personal reasons are. It's not biblical. It's more so, well, I like them because whatever reason. And they, it doesn't matter. You should examine, like, I love you, brother and sister, But if there was something that came across to where you're doing wrong, yes, we're good friends, but like I say all the time, I hold no loyalty to wrong, period. So where
Right.
someone falls off, yes, that's great. We were friends, or you were cordial, or whatever the case may be. You had my back in the situation. But if you're wrong, guess what? You're still wrong. And you should love somebody enough to call them wrong, as opposed to,
Right.
well, I'm going to support you no matter what you do because you had my back that one time at band camp.
Right.
Yeah.
And sister, I may ask you a question. If someone slanders you and said you're a thief, would you start befriending every thief that's walks the earth now because they claim to be innocent too?
Well, in the midst of my stealing, do I have to stop first and then have to worry about?
No, let's say you didn't really steal.
Yeah.
That's what you claim. Like you didn't really steal.
Mhm.
And someone slandered you because they thought you stole.
Mhm.
And would you start befriending every abusive stealer, thief walking around the earth thinking that, oh, we have a shared experience, we were both wrongly accused? Or would you actually look to see if they really did steal or not?
No, I would hope somebody would look to see, like if I was accused of stealing, and I would hope people would say, you know what? Let's examine the evidence. Let's examine the facts of the matter.
Right.
Um,
Let's check on the person that
but
you stole from.
yeah, like what does this person have to gain? What does this person, you know what I mean, or have, and who is the person that, like, am I really do I have a list where I'm known for being a thief? I
Yeah.
got a whole rap sheet of thefts, like jewelry heist and everything else that you can't, sit me in your house because I got sticky fingers. I got to wait outside.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I don't know about his other allegations. If we really wanted to go for Kenny, we would. There's lots of other allegations.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
all
that's what
from him,
but I'm saying, like, and
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of allegations that we could just point out,
but we
obvious
Yeah,
didn't.
allegations,
and that's
but
accusation that we're just being sensational, and we're trying to pick up on what this guy does to make it personal against
Why?
him.
Why would we sensationalize things for views and for clout? Is this channel monetized, brother?
No, it's not
Is there a
monetized.
Patreon?
No,
Is
we
there
don't
a
have a Patreon.
PayPal?
We don't have that.
Is there a super chat? Is there
dang,
do we put on our personal grievances and tragedies and financial sub stories online for our Patreons to fill up? Do we do that?
ooh,
Please tell us, because look, Paul said he had a tent building career. He could have taken money from the Christians and he would have had a right to it, but he says, I refuse to do it, and he works for his own food for the sake of the gospel. I'm saying you can't accuse this channel of that, because I go to a day job and I come back, and my brother Jai has a day job and comes back. We've never asked Christians for views for money. We don't say, this ministry, give us your money. So you can't accuse this channel of that wanting sensationalize something for views, because it means nothing to my bank account. Let me tell you that. And I can't say that for every other channel that I see out there, let's say, giving their 2 cents on this.
Yeah, we don't have our names out there. We're not showing our pictures.
We don't showing our faces. So no one knows who Daughter of Christ is or Jai Apologetics is. If
or
walking
Sister K,
or Sister K is walking down the street, we don't do it for personal glory. It's not attached to our face, and it's for sure not attached to our bank account.
Yeah. So if there's any accusation you can lay against us, it's not that. We're not doing it, because if we were doing it for that reason, we would want something. What's the gain that we have to just make something up about Kenny because we know, oh, I really have the full video and I'm just chopping it up to make him look racist?
Yeah,
what's
so
the
I
benefit
can get
of
more
that?
views, so I can get more money. No,
There's
Kenny no money
really
button.
Is Kenny really that special? Is he really that special to where I'm going to go out of my way to try to frame him or falsely accuse him? No. And if I wanted to do that to Kenny, which is an immoral thing to do, there's actually things that he has in his past that people have dug up, that he has public records, criminal records, things like that. People can do videos on that, and there are videos on YouTube about that stuff. You don't see those videos on this channel. What we normally will do is, if someone does something that's in accordance with their religion, and they're a follower of that, they're a follower of a religion, and they're doing something that's immoral or heinous in accordance with their religion, what we'll do is we'll say, look, they're doing this. You guys see, this is the religion lived out. And then, you have the sources coming in. This is what Islam teaches. So we don't have Kenny up here saying that, oh, in Islam, in Islam you can't. It's impossible to be a Muslim and to be racist. That's a lie. And
Woo,
when you
no,
allow that,
can I stop you there?
yeah,
Can I stop you there? My first racist experiences in America were with those who follow the religion of Islam, not white people. So let's be
Oh,
very
there you
clear
go.
on
okay.
that.
Yeah,
Are you sure, sister? Maybe
I am
they were
sure,
just
just
meant,
as sure as I sit here.
maybe
Yes.
they're just whipping you in another sense.
yeah.
No, no, no. I know. I don't know. Like maybe
And
the
were you
dance.
did you happen to be intoxicated while you were being abused? Was that your
No, I
crime?
was not. I was a child. I was a
Yeah.
child. So
Yeah,
no,
and that's right.
absolutely
And
not.
so, yeah, and our brother Radical Monitor here, he has videos where he exposes Kenny on that stuff. Why? Because Kenny was doxing our brother Eric, and he like on the cross and the crescent. So there are reasons why people do these kind of things. I'm just saying that if we're being accused and saying, look, you guys are just being sensational, you're just trying to dig these little things
Do you
up
hate him,
to
brother?
go. No, I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I want him to be saved. So that's another lie that's been said about me as well, is that I hate him. I don't hate him.
We don't even know him. We've never met him.
Yeah, I mean,
Why would we hate him?
I've had probably like a handful of encounters with him where I spoke to him, and I don't think about him at all. It's not that I hate this guy. It just, as I said, I was watching the stream with David Wood, Robert Spencer, Apostate Prophet. David, Radical Moderate, he sent the super chat, and David Wood explained what the context of that was. I looked it up, and what I found based on my conclusions was that Kenny was being racist.
He was following the religion of Islam and his white prophet.
And
is what he was doing.
he's following the sunnah in the example of his prophet.
And he's an imam who's meant to know better.
Yeah. So I think we've all seen this video here. We don't need to go. You want to?
I want to watch it.
Okay. So let's go through it again. And the sound is not great, but we'll just kind of someone does put up subtitles, captions, and you can try to.
The people who tried to set him up didn't get the audio right because he's the president of the USA, right? Why?
Yeah.
So big people trying to set him up.
So one of the accusations against this man here is that he's just doing this for some sort of clout or fame. He's trying to set Kenny up. This is a setup. That's the conspiracy now, that Kenny's being set up. And so, while he's setting Kenny up, he apparently forced Kenny to say these words that he's going to whip him.
Yeah, he forced him to be racist.
So let's see the encounter. Let's see the encounter.
But before you start, this has nothing to do with the court system, right? This is just.
Oh yeah, the man
Okay.
that makes them whip people and be aggressive to people.
Yeah.
But let's go on.
So we all know the context here. Those who've been following this, the video doesn't start right away, which is kind of weird. If this is supposed to be a setup, you'd think that they get all of this stuff in here.
And look at his body language, the black gentleman.
Yeah. So
does it look like he's trying to provoke for a setup?
No.
He's not even looking at him.
In fact, according to Kenny's own testimony, all she did was tell the lady who's waiting on them that she's doing a good job. And he said it in a smart aleck way.
Look at the fist. Look at the white fist. What is it doing?
Yeah. You see his fist there. Look at his
yeah. Look at the other man. He's putting one arm over the other, completely non-confrontation. Yeah. Apparently he was the black man here. Yeah. Apparently he was a smelt of alcohol, so he could.
Yeah, so Kenny saying that he could smell alcohol on him. So let's see. Yeah. Okay. Another thing that Kenny said was that he didn't say anything disrespectful or rude to the lady. He said, I didn't cuss her out, I didn't insult her, I didn't swear at her. And then this man says, hey, don't speak to women like that. And then Kenny says, I'll speak to you. I'll talk to you like that.
So like that is bad, isn't it?
Like what? I thought you didn't say anything wrong. So even in Kenny's own version of events, it doesn't line up. So that's what I'm saying. When people are they're emotionally attached to Kenny, and they just care what Kenny has to say to make Kenny look the best possible light possible, you're not interested in lining up with what Kenny said to you in the video that's objective. No one can force Kenny to do anything here. This is objective. Kenny is acting on his own volition right now. No one's forcing Kenny to act any sort of way. What Kenny said and what he's doing in this video, these things don't add up.
And brother, who's approaching who here?
Yeah, Kenny was the one who approached him.
Who's being aggressive?
And Kenny's the one getting in his face.
Is the black man like trying to provoke him for the setup video?
He said to the lady, "You're doing a good job," according to Kenny.
And he's looking back, yes, at the person
because he sees that someone has a camera
Yeah,
out.
I would be the same if someone came in my face to public. In public, I would look around as well. Like, is anyone seeing this? Like, this is, I can't believe this is happening to me right now.
And there's a lady right here with a camera out. He's pointing it at him, so he's like looking around,
yeah.
like what's going on.
It looks completely natural.
Yeah.
Look, he's looking around, not just at the camera, at everywhere. Like, is someone gonna see this? Someone gonna stop this?
Yeah.
And who's being aggressive here?
And again, Kenny is saying that this guy has like bloodshot eyes, and he's saying that he reeks of alcohol.
Yeah,
We're gonna see how likely that story is in just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Kenny was saying that this man was walking away, then all of a sudden he turned around like he was going to do something. We saw that happened within like 2 seconds. The guy grabs his food off the counter.
I was walking away.
He grabs his food off the counter. He's starting to walk away. And now, right now, as he's walking away, Kenny says he's going to take off his belt and whip him. And
so it was someone who's trying to walk back from the trying to deflate the situation, trying to walk away from the situation, and he's continuing with his aggression regardless.
Yeah.
Can I point out the obvious though right now?
Yeah, we know he's not wearing a belt.
Yeah. Go on, sister.
Well, yeah, I know we know he's not wearing a belt, but he's wearing basketball shorts. Like, I could see if these were khaki shorts where you could potentially have a belt on.
Yeah.
And can I ask you, sister, and the people in the chat, does the young black man look intoxicated or acting intoxicated in any way?
No, he does not look like. As a matter of fact, he has his hands across him. It's not in a confrontational, like, Kenny, if you're doing the body examination, he's the one that's confrontational. He's the aggressor in this situation. Like, he's leaning in, he's coming to his face, and even he had to say, I'll back off. I'll back, but don't get another man's business.
Yeah, if you're trying to be the aggressor and you're trying to set him up, like I think the kind of like what the thing behind this is like, oh, this is like a setup, like this guy works for like BLM or something like that, and he's trying to just make everybody look racist, and he's trying to make this go viral on like World Star or something like that. He's not, and so we're gonna see real soon. And by the way, another thing that was pointed out was that Kenny was saying that this guy wasn't there, he didn't hear the interaction, but obviously the guy had his food served before Kenny. So he was there. So Kenny, again, on documentable things, Kenny is demonstrably lying. So if Kenny's lying about those things, why would you think that Kenny isn't lying about
the whole thing? And he follows a religion that says it's okay to lie and deceive people with taqiyya, and he's chose to follow that religion, and a religion that's racist. Right. So you tell me.
Okay, so here is the guy. Here's the victim of Kenny's racism right here. Okay. Oh, here he is, David Verberg. He is an Olympian
champion.
He's a 2-time world champion. He's an Olympian. He's a runner. He's a rugby player. He's a vegan as well, which is important. He's very health conscious. This man is not somebody that is just some dog that's walking into the grocery store that smells like alcohol or something like that. No, this is not someone who not someone who is
he's just drinking a liquor during the day, huh?
Which is, he tried to use that stereotype. I'm sorry, sister, that there is something like that against black people.
Yeah,
you're black, you're from the hood, you're always drunk, you're always high, you're always
sipping a 40 ounce outside of this.
This guy, you know why I think the Lord is really after Kenny, either to repent or to bring him his chickens to roost, the ones that he was ordering. He ran into the most clean cut, high achieving, clean living person you could ever meet. A gold medalist.
He's an Olympian, gold medalist, athlete. This guy also plays rugby. So if it did get physical, it wouldn't have been in Kenny's favor. But it didn't go physical, and we don't want things to go physical. But if Kenny did go that route, it wouldn't have ended up good for him. So not only that, but so not only now we have here's the victim of Kenny's racism saying that I'm gonna whip you because I'm a white guy and you're a black guy and I'm gonna whip you. She's bringing into the thoughts of racism, whipping slaves and things like that. So that's one thing. And now Kenny's lying about him, saying that he's walking around drunk, smelling like alcohol. Okay, now here is his statement. This is his statement. Okay, he says, a man, if you want to call them that, was being aggressive and rude to a Randall store employee trying to help him. I stepped in. So this is David. This is the Olympian. This is the athlete who Kenny said was walking around drunk, reeking like alcohol. He says, I stepped in and told him, you don't speak to a woman like that. He proceeded to try and bump bellies, but I don't do that.
He doesn't have a belly to bump. He's an Olympian.
Yeah, so Kenny
Kenny had enough of belly for both of them.
Yeah, so that's accurate though. Kenny did get in. He tried to get into his face, and he did try to bump bellies. He said, "I don't do that." He ended by saying, "Walk away before I take off my belt and whip you."
Mm-hmm.
After I left, he waited and tried following me, saying more racial slurs out the window. Here's his license plate. And then he shows a picture of his license plate. We're obviously not going to show that because we're not like Kenny. We're not going to dox him like he doxed our brother.
By the grace of God and the fact I can't afford to have my name in news.
So he's not doing this for clout.
I thought he was doing it as a setup.
This
and
is a setup.
He's using phrases like by the grace of God, which matches with his behavior actually during the incident. He was very non-confrontational, very calm. He was trying to walk away, was trying to get his food, was trying to stand up for the poor lady behind the counter.
And he goes on to show his self-control. He said, I wanted to yell, wanted to punch him as hard as I could. I would prove nothing and lose everything. Keep your voice calm and your words strong.
So who do I believe then?
Do I believe this guy who says that Kenny continued, he proceeded to give racial slurs, he proceeded to yell out racial slurs after the incident, or do we believe Kenny?
Yeah, because we have video footage up until this point, the walk away before I take my belt off and whip you. And so far, it's this gentleman's testimony that's true so far, according to the clip.
Yes.
Now, the part that wasn't on a video is this part that Kenny said never happened. But I believe this gentleman.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You have a choice now. You have Kenny. You can believe Kenny. Kenny is saying that this never happened. I never said any racial slurs. Or you can believe the victim. So in other words, this is not Jai just making stuff up and saying, hey, Kenny's being racist. No context at all. No reason giving at all. No, here's the reason. The victim himself says, if you want to interpret the belt thing as I was like talking like a parent to his child. I wanted to beat him like a parent. If that's how you want to interpret that, which very unlikely Kenny meant that. He goes on to say that Kenny proceeded to say racial slurs to him when leaving the store. So why would you not believe this person's testimony? He doesn't know who Kenny is, and we're gonna prove that he didn't know who Kenny was.
Yeah.
He didn't know Kenny was a Muslim. He's not some, he didn't know anything about Kenny. So go ahead, Sister Kay. While we just kind of leave him on the screen.
That's him.
And you know what?
With a Bible verse, I can do all things through Christ. Sorry, sister.
Yeah, there you go. We have. We'll just leave that picture up of him while you speak, sister. Anything you want to say? Go ahead.
No, I just think it's very telling, and God, he vindicates his own. How people, like, he really tried to paint him like he was some young thug.
Yeah. And by the way, the guy's a vegan. This guy is so health conscious. He's an Olympian. He spends all year training for these events, and Kenny wants us to think that he's walking around
setting him up
alcohol. Now, why would he? Why would he want us? Why would he think that people might believe that this guy is walking around smelling like alcohol? Is it only because he's black? Is that the only reason why?
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, the narrative that he painted was just some young black thug. But even in your narrative of some young black thug reeking of alcohol, he's not the aggressor, as we see in the video. It's not a setup. Let's put it this way. People can't record what I'm not doing if they're recording me. But you lean in. You tell him not to get in another man. That's Islam. When you're abusing a woman, no one should say anything. You're not in a Sharia law country, sir.
Yes.
And And as long as we have and we follow our Savior, there are men there that will defend the honor of a woman that have character. We're not
Right.
punks. We're
Right.
not, again, like you're a tough guy when it comes to women. You see, you changed your tone when you realized that young man was like, hey, if you want to, you can more than what he's an Olympian, I'm pretty sure. You
Yeah.
It
are
wouldn't go well for
top
Kenny.
No,
gold
no.
medalist for something that's not involving physical activity.
And he didn't
Mhm.
even know who he was, sister. Do you see that on the screen?
Okay, so this is his response. This is David's response. Here's a picture of Kenny. He responds, "Whoa, that's him. Thank you." He didn't know that was Kenny. He didn't
Yep.
know that. So he gives his own response here. This is found in a TikTok video. The guy who made. And then here's him here. You want to know a little bit about David? Here he
Yeah,
is.
it's nothing to do with anyone.
Okay. So does this look like one of these someone who's gonna like set someone up, one of these like vicious, like I want to just set people up, I want to
Yeah.
destroy their lives.
He
I
doesn't
wanna,
even know who he is, and
Yeah.
Kenny is not that famous. Apart from us, no one else is talking about this. We, the ones who picked this up, and David Wood in that short clip.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, that was like a 2-hour live stream where they weren't
Yeah.
even focusing on
No.
it just came up
And the victim is not releasing any videos apart from that post. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
We'll show you his social media, what's on it.
Yeah.
Sister.
But let's hear him introduce himself a little bit. You can kind of put a voice and also hear him a little bit more. Here we go.
My name is David Verberg. I'm a 2016 Olympic gold medalist, plant-based athlete, and animal advocate. Basically, the whole reason why I became vegan was because I grew up on a farm with probably 25 different types of animals, from chickens to goats, sheep, peacocks.
Okay. So the only thing you could say against this guy is that he's a vegan, probably, but
It's okay.
I'm just joking around. But yeah, so here's his Instagram. Okay, the Kenny video is the one on the top left side right here. Everything else on this page, we're just gonna scroll through it here.
Down.
It's all related to his
Training.
Sports training,
And maybe
athletics,
some animals, because he's an animal lover.
Yes.
So why would a guy like that randomly set up Kenny?
Does he has nothing on here about, he doesn't have anything about politics at all. No pictures on his Instagram page at all about politics. Go ahead, Sister K.
But it wasn't him that recorded the video. It was someone else that saw the interaction.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And became concerned and began to record it.
Yeah.
So clearly Kenny's behavior, even before the record button was hit, was so abhorrent that somebody's like, okay, let me record this in case anything happens. Because we know this day and age, everything that, if you can't like intervene, if you're afraid to intervene, you record it. That way you can say, like, this is what I saw coming up into this point. So
but why would this guy, he's already got enough clout. He's already an Olympian. Why would he make up
the fact that Kenny was being racist afterwards? Why?
Are you using common sense when you ask that question, or are you just using an emotional connection?
Yeah, like if it was someone who's debating him, who's in the apologetics polemics, who's another Christian, who's against him.
He didn't even know who he was.
He didn't even know who he was. So why would he make up that he made a racial slur against him outside? Exactly. I believe him.
Yes. Why wouldn't you believe this man? There's nothing on his Instagram page that's political. He doesn't post. I went through every single picture on his Instagram, every single post that he has. There's no political motivated things at all. It's literally just him showing his training, showing his events, food. Food. You have some animals, nutrition.
That's it.
You don't have any. There's no reason for you to believe that he would lie about this encounter, but you have every reason to believe that Kenny would lie about this encounter.
Because he follows a religion that it says you can lie, and a racist isn't going to say, "Yeah, I was racist." Will he? Come on now.
I mean, let's be honest. If this wasn't on video where Kenny said he was going to whip him, if that wasn't on video, then Kenny would have denied that. Let's be honest. He would deny that.
He would have denied the whole thing, and he would have got away with it. Because one of Kenny's excuses is, "I'm 50 years old. How am I a racist and I've survived this long?" Yeah, because he never got caught.
Right.
That's why, because people have been given the benefit of the doubt so far, and now people are still trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
People are still defending him.
So he can still live another 10 years being a racist, harasser, abuser, liar, deceiver.
Yeah, especially if you're putting your hands on your wife.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, apparently
Yeah.
no one can put hands on his wife now because the US is already hates men. So any accusation of that nature is false. Come on now.
Now, I just want to say, what Kodak is saying here is this is true. Sometimes you do have people that are provocateurs and people who go up to you and they do try to start a situation, and they do want to get virality and
Where is
become
his
popular.
other? Where is his
However,
other provoking videos?
yeah,
Where?
show me any justification for thinking that someone who has a gold medal in the Olympics, someone who
Wait.
is a two-time world champion, that he needs to get some sort of clout off of TikTok for setting some guy up pretending that he's racist when he's not racist.
Yeah, and where
I
is it?
see.
Show me his other provoking videos. Where?
So I'm not saying that those people aren't out there. I'm just saying that this guy is clearly not one of them.
I just saw a comment in the chat where this person said they're trying to make Islam look bad. Honey, your prophet did that over 1400 years ago.
Yeah, we don't have to try.
So you don't need no help. You really don't. Your hadiths and everything else in the Quran in and of itself. I'm pretty sure a guy walking around with Seminole covered clothing is sufficient enough to be an embarrassment for Islam. But yeah, like you don't, that's not there. And on top of that, after reviewing this young man's profile, you can see he has bigger fish to fry.
Exactly. He's not trying to
Yeah, he's you know the kind of dedication that it takes to be an Olympian gold medalist.
Seriously,
every second of your day is about this.
Exactly. Now let's just go back to a statement here. Now he's saying that I can't afford to have my name on the news. Now, if somebody was going for this type of thing where they're trying to set somebody up, then why wouldn't they want their name on the news?
Because he doesn't want Muslims after him.
Yeah, well
he wants to focus on his craft.
No, at this point, he didn't even know he was a Muslim when he's writing this.
Okay.
So he didn't even know he was a Muslim here. So what I mean is he's showing very clearly right here
he doesn't want any fuss.
He doesn't want his name being made public in news and media. And by the way, we're not news and media. We're just a channel on YouTube where we'll be very happy and very blessed if this gets in the thousands of views. He's talking about media like CNN and those types of Fox News. So we're trying to honor that. We're not, but what I'm saying is he's not trying to get his name out there to become famous. He's already famous. You can go on Wikipedia and type in his name and it shows you all the medals he's won and championships he's won.
He doesn't need any more of it, and he's not about that. His whole existence on his page is about his training.
Yeah. And so when people were commenting on this video originally, there's a lot of comments when Kenny talks about his belt. By belt, does this
rotund racist? So they already
it has 96 likes for this particular comment. So people, when they hear the word belt used from a white man to a black man, saying that you're going to take out your belt to whip him,
that they don't think, oh, he's whipping a child. And why
the
would
whole whip you sounded like could have been followed by like a slave. He didn't say it, but that's what he meant. Again, 24 likes for this
and
comment.
If he doesn't think that this comes across that way, then he's very naive.
Yeah.
He knew how it would have come across to a black man. You can correct us, sister.
Yeah, to me, that's the thing that makes this racist. As far as I can see, there isn't one. But beating slaves with belts definitely was a thing, and it sounds like he's making that reference. So when you make that sort of reference, it's clearly in the context of being racist, followed up by the victim who has an impeccable, what would you say,
like online presence
character. Yeah. No, this guy has an impeccable character. There's nothing against this Olympian that we've seen. We were trying to find things,
and there's everything against Kenny in terms of previous racism, previous support of Ijaz with the racist slurs against Hispanics, previous doxing of our brother crossing the crescent, and support for Ijaz for doxing our brother Ariel. So we've got and with charges of violence against children and women and so many charges of violence on the one side, and on the other side, this squeaky clean living, top of the line athlete who has nothing to do with anything, who's not in any of Kenny's circles, who has nothing to do with Kenny, and he was like, Oh, who is he?
Yeah, right.
So who are we gonna believe?
Yeah, and so
and he looks like he's a Christian too.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna take his word.
I'm gonna give to Sister K right after this. I just want to say, look, if you have allegiances to Kenny, you have some emotional attachment to Kenny, and you can't see this guy's side of the story because you don't want Kenny to be painted in a bad light, and you're gonna lie about people and say, oh, they're slandering, they're lying about him, they're because they hate him.
But did you for 1 second think of this victim?
The victim himself spoke out. He made a statement, and he said that Kenny proceeded to make racial slurs to him.
Right here.
So why would we believe Kenny, who's a known liar and bozo, over this guy?
And he follows a religion. He chose to follow a religion that gives you license to lie and license to be racist. As we have shown, our initial video was coming after Islam, not really. Kenny was just a case study as an example. Really, it's Muhammad. Yeah. If Kenny today, after he's seen our video, which he's obviously seen, after he saw those Islamic sources, and he claims that he loves his foster brothers that are black and his black brothers, if he doesn't denounce that religion, then that means he's still racist. If he denounces that religion for being racist, because it is racist, and he leaves it, we'll take down the video tomorrow. Yeah, like, brother, there are some people who
I've
repented.
I had a video up before where there were individuals making comments, again, very hateful things, slanderous things. And once I published the video, they reached out to me. One of them who was in the video reached out to me, said, hey, I saw your video, and he said that he repented. So now that this person communicated to me that they repented, I took down that video without even thinking about it, instantaneously. So if I want to just have it out there because I want to be sensational or whatever, I would have kept it up there. I don't care. He repented. I would.
Yeah, it was a video against our sister too, and that brother, one of the brothers that wasn't even all of them, and he said he repented. So our brother Jai took the video down because he believed that he repented, which I don't know if I believe that, but he said he repented. Now, if Kenny says he's sorry, did he apologize to the gentleman?
Well, Kenny apparently was so apologetic to Allah and asking Allah for forgiveness that he never actually apologized to this man. And he can't say he doesn't know who he is because Kenny changed his name on Instagram.
Because people are coming at him so much. So he knows exactly who he is online. He could have reached out to him. We found him, and we had nothing to do with it.
Right. So, Sister K, go ahead.
Yeah, if you could put up this guy's post, the actual post that he wrote about the incident.
Okay.
Yeah. Here.
I know it's a 20-second delay. Okay. Here, the last line is very telling for me, at least.
Yes.
Because being in situations to where you can't physically react, and it's so frustrating because you have way more to lose than those people that are in the situation that just see you as subhuman. I'm sorry, that last paragraph, I felt that. And I don't care. Yeah, we're not dictated and moving by our feelings and so on and so forth. But I know what it is to be in a situation to being called a racial slur. But you can't do anything because you're either in a job setting, you're either in you're in a setting to where you're in an educational professional setting to where you just have to eat it, and you're frustrated because it's like, wow, no one gives a care at this point, and everybody just looks their nose down and they just keep. And the fact that anybody would defend this behavior for whatever reason, because they're my friend, or they trust, they believe me, it shows that, you know what, some people need to do some heart searching, some true, like, they need to go before the Lord, because your discernment is lacking. I don't care how much recall you have no discernment at all. And that honestly, listen, like I was reading that as you posted it, and honestly, I can recall multiple incidences where things like that happen, and you can do nothing, and no one is willing to do anything, and you're looking to be vindicated, and you're just left to stand there and take it. So I guess for other people to try to defend such racist behavior because somebody who you choose to marry, or some of my best friends are black. Literally, like, brace yourself when somebody says some of my best friends are black. They're about to say something real racist sometimes.
Yeah, like why would they even mention that,
Why
you
would
know?
you even mention that if that was not the thing? You literally are using black people to cover up your racism. So it's disgusting to me. And anybody that defends that, I don't care who you decide to wed or bed.
Mm.
It makes me not. It doesn't matter. This is a sin that anybody can fall into, and clearly, Kenny hasn't gotten rid of it, and
Yeah,
Islam
and
allows you to continue in it.
yeah, and as Christians, we need to come alongside the person who's been wronged. The Bible
Yeah.
says if to do something, and not do to not do what's right, that is it's sin. And so to do what's right would have been to check on the victim, which we did. Check who he is. We already know Kenny's character from online and offline, been charged with all kinds of felonies, with all kinds of crimes against his own, even his own family, his own. So to this, what looks like a Christian who talks about the grace of God, who talks about no fuss, who is completely non-confrontational, um, who's minding his own, and trying to defend this lady behind the counter, and he himself gets called something like that, being threatened and harsh words against him for no other reason than to say you're doing a good job to someone by someone who's flying off the handle. And now we are expected to feel sorry for the perpetrator because, oh, you're ruining my life. No, man, you got caught. And only
Yeah,
God
saying it's
knows.
cancel culture and
Cancel
stuff.
culture? No.
It's
We
more like
wanna
you
we
got
wanna cancel.
you got busted culture.
If you repent and leave that religion that you're, if you at least even apologize to the person you talked about, no, you just want to get away with it because, oh, cancel culture. Well,
Yeah.
we want to cancel the sin culture. How about that? The Bible tells us to expose darkness, and we've exposed your darkness. And this young man, he must be special because, we would have left this
Yeah.
alone if, we wouldn't have even talked about it today unless we got pushback, and we did get pushback. And I refuse to feel sorry for the abuser. I refuse to not believe the victims. How many victims have we not believed? Oh, I was sexually assaulted. I don't believe you. I was physically assaulted. I don't believe you. I was a victim of racism. I don't believe you. No, I believe the victim, and the victim's credentials are squeaky clean, as opposed to Kenny. And we all know his credentials, and we all know the person he's following, the prophet he's choosing to follow by his own volition, and being an imam and having enough knowledge to go do debates. He knows what he's following, and he's practicing it. And for that, I'm going to keep exposing it and keep shaming it until he stops. And we don't want any more victims.
Yeah. So I just
Yeah.
want to go ahead, Sister
Go on,
Kay. Then
sister.
I want to give conclusions. But go ahead, Sister. Why don't you any kind of thoughts you have on
You cut out some, brother.
Yeah, if you could just please, sister, go ahead, give us your thoughts, and then any concluding remarks you have, and then we'll kind of just go around, conclude, and then we'll kind of just wrap up the stream here.
Okay, I'm sure. Even if we didn't have this Olympic style athlete, if say this kid had a rap sheet, let's just say that.
Right.
If we only had this video, who is the aggressor?
Kenny.
Who's leaning in? Who's balling up their fist? Whose body language is suggesting confrontation? And who's threatening to harm people? It's very simple. It's Kenny. So if this guy was reeking of alcohol and you had I don't know what you call them, beer muscles or whatever, this guy didn't show any of that. He took his stuff and he left. He
Yes.
wasn't looking for confrontation. Kenny is the one, as he is leaving, is still trying to lean, and his body language is pointed towards him. So again, if you want this to go away, maybe you need to talk to your friend and tell him how to conduct himself better in public, and to talk to people like human beings and not like there's some 17th or 18th century slave on a plantation. But I'll conclude there.
All right. Daughter of Christ, what are your thoughts, concluding thoughts on this? Anything you want to share or say?
This poor man didn't do anything wrong, and I've been playing it in the background just to show the body language. I've muted it. It's all on the screen anyway, and I'm gonna keep cycling through. Forget that he's, like you said, sister. It's not even an athlete. Let's say he was a normal black man. There need to be an athlete to be believed, but this man had to be an Olympian, gold medalist athlete for us to believe him. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what black people have to go through to be believed. But just look at the body language. I'm tired of having to. It's hard enough to be fighting darkness, that is Islam. It comes in different forms, the devil. It comes in different forms, racism. And one of the forms of racism is Islam. Islam allows racism because it's from the devil. This man is following the devil right now, and God's wrath is on him every single day. Yes, God created him and he loves him, but he doesn't love sin. And we don't love sin because we are followers of the light. And the black man here was wronged, fully wronged. And we only just shone the light on it because we don't know what this man does off camera. He only did this because he knew that he wasn't being recorded. Now look, if he knew he wasn't being recorded, this is his natural, and he got busted. And hopefully this would make him think twice before abusing somebody else. I'm tired of, instead of just fighting darkness, I'm having to fight off my brothers and sisters who will not step up and do what's right and defend the weak, defend the people who have been wronged, defend the victim, and instead I feel sorry for the perpetrator. Oh, you're destroying him. No, I'm shaming him for the darkness that is meant to be exposed. And the minute he repents and comes to the Lord, this video goes down. And apologizes to that man too. Go on, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to conclude by saying that anyone who's defending Kenny and just completely disregarding this man's testimony, his written statement, where he says that Kenny proceeded to call him racial slurs, and you're going to defend Kenny, and you're going to say, oh, Kenny, I believe Kenny. Why do you believe Kenny over this man? Why? That's what I want to know. Why do you believe Kenny over this man? Kenny has a history of defending racists and racism, like the incidents with Ariel and the Islamic doxer. He took the Islamic doxer side, and then, coincidentally, the video just goes down once him and the doxer are in bad terms. They're on bad terms now. So the video just disappears. So this is not the first time Kenny's been associated with racism, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. We pray and hope that he repents, and we also say, shame on all of the Christians, who are not defending this victim, and they're taking this abuser, this liar, this filthy, disgusting guy who spends his entire public career trying to defame and discredit your faith. This man spends his life, his public life, trying to dethrone Jesus and trying to get people to go into hell. Shame on you for defending him. Shame on you for defending him, and you turning on your brothers and sisters, and you're calling them liars and slanderers and this and that, and you ignore the victim's own words, the victim's own testimonies. We've demonstrated here today that Kenny lied on numerous occasions, and if you still want to believe him, then you have to answer to God for that. And you have to answer to God for all of the words that you say against us and against everybody else who is defending this man, and all the slander that you guys say who make these comments. Obviously, there's a very small community of people that are saying these things, but all those people, I'm directing these comments to them, to you people need to repent and get right with God. You people need to get right with God. And shame on you for defending Kenny. Shame on you for being like James White and having ties with Yasser Qadhi that's unbreakable. And you're going to treat your own brothers and sisters worse than you treat Yasser Qadhi. You're going to treat your Muslim overlord. I can't upset him. Oh, I'm going to respond to his arguments, but I'm not going to respond to him. I'm going to respond to his position, but I'm not going to talk about him. I'm not going to show how his character doesn't reflect the evil God that he follows or the evil prophet that he follows. Shame on you. These guys are it's just disgusting, and it's really pitiful. And to see the people that they rile up to get on their sides for this type of stuff, it's just disgusting. And I know that we meant to do another topic on the Mubahala. That will be unfortunately another time. We spent all the time on this today, but I just want to say to all of the brothers and sisters out there who are uh, supporting this man, and everybody who is which is I know it's the vast majority of you all, the majority of people who are going to be watching this video. I know that the majority of you are going to be supporting this man. So I just want to say to you, God bless you all, and keep standing up for the people who are victims and stand up for the truth, no matter the cost, no matter the consequences. Stand up for the truth. Don't make your allegiances to some emotional connection that you have to this imam or to some Muslim. Don't make that your allegiance. Make your allegiance to Jesus. Don't make it to this filthy guy on the screen here. Don't compromise. Don't sell out the truth because you have emotional ties to a Muslim. It's really disgusting that we even need to say that stuff. I mean, it's like this is like really basic stuff. But once you kind of enter into that world of, oh, I'm gonna evangelize to this guy by being his friend. I'm gonna be his friend, and I'm gonna go to barbecues with him and give him bro hugs and all these other. I'm gonna dab it. I'm gonna do all these things. He's gonna be my friend, and that will show him. I mean, these types of relationships, in my opinion, they don't usually work out the way that you want them to. And so anyone who befriends a Muslim, make sure that you're witnessing to them and you're evangelizing to them, not just ignoring everything that they do and trying to justify them and try to vindicate them when they're wrong. So yeah, that's our stream today. We thank you all for joining with us. And again, I know the vast majority of you all are on the side of the truth here, and you're supporting the victim. But for the very small voice out there that's saying you guys are taking things out of context and you're chopping up videos, you're being dishonest, shame on you all. And now I hope you see that you have no justification and no evidence for saying what you say. And that's all.
Yeah, and don't take an unbeliever's word over your own brothers and sisters. We belong to the light, and we know that they lie as a habit, and in their religion they're prescribed to lie. So at the very least, come to your brothers and sisters for clarification first. Don't come with accusations. We put a lot of research into those videos. A lot takes a lot of time, and we do it for no gain, for no reward monetary wise. Our reward is with the Lord. And we pray for Kenny that he comes to the Lord, and this isn't a good look for him. He got busted this time, which means that the Lord gave him lots of other chances, but now it became too much that he got caught on camera just this one time. So he must have done it thousands of times. And so we don't want him to be in this darkness. We know where it comes from. It comes from Islam. That's our real fight. Our real fight is not with Kenny, it's with Islam. And we made that very clear on our original video. We said, don't condemn Kenny, condemn Islam. That's what he belongs to, and that's what needs to be out of the picture. Once it's out of the picture, he'll become, and the Lord comes in, this will be different.
Yes.
So pray for that, but don't come alongside the darkness, especially if it's against the brother that this is against is a believer, and he behaves completely Christ-like. Look at his hands are to himself. He came to the defense of a lady who was obviously in trouble.
Extremely disciplined,
extremely well measured. No alcohol. I don't believe the alcohol accusation. That's in itself is slander. He's the victim. And we don't know what transpired outside the restaurant, the supermarket, but I believe my brother. Also because he has a clean slate and he has a clean record, and he's a massive achiever. And I don't care about this, the color of his skin and the slander that Kenny was trying to put on him, saying, oh, he's just a guy with alcohol on his breath. No, he's an athlete, Olympic medalist with incredible dedication, incredible discipline and control. He's the one out of control.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and so if we didn't care about truth, if we didn't care about context, if we didn't care about, we just want to be sensational and put things out there, we wouldn't be doing this stream. We would be, making some things up. If that's what we do, we would just be making some things up and trying to be more sensational and trying to be more clickbait, this, that. No, we are trying to serve the Lord in honesty and in truth and in love. And we hope that you guys can see that as well. And we want to only do that, just serve the Lord in honesty and in truth. And we want to just share that with everybody else, share the good news, share the gospel with everybody else. We want to, know God and make God known. That's our goal as Christians. So anyone who says anything different about us, they're the ones that are in fact slandering and lying, not us. So Sister Kay, you want to say anything before we go?
I think you guys did an excellent job summarizing everything. Like you said, the benefit of the doubt should have been given to you. You guys have not shown anything else on other platforms or on this platform. You guys lift up the name of Christ and exposing the darkness and tearing down the strongholds of Islam. And that's what that video did. And that's what you guys continue to do. And again, just, make sure you have equal weights and equal measures for everyone. So I do appreciate it. And yes, Jesus Christ is Lord. He died for all of our sins, and that we, those who ever believe, it's the power of God unto salvation. So that we don't hate Islam. We don't hate Muslims. We hate the ideology of Islam and what it does to people, that you can continue in your wickedness. I'm not saying that he just grew racist overnight. He probably had these thoughts before he joined Islam, but there's no room to change in Islam. It doesn't allow you to change. And so I pray for Kenny and those that wager false accusations against you that are brothers and sisters in the faith, allegedly in some cases, that they, come and apologize and repent.
Yeah, and I just want to say again, Kenny is a known liar, slanderer. He's doxed. We have our brothers here in the chat who he's personally lied against and doxed, tried to ruin their careers and etc. So to take this guy's side over this innocent victim who has a clean slate, who doesn't even want to go to the media, he doesn't want to have his name associated with this at all because he doesn't want to mess up his athletic career. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. To not believe him, to think he's just making things up, you have no justification for not believing him.
We literally have a trail of his victims in the chat. We literally have a real person, one of his victims in the chat, and another one on the screen. Are you going to take his word? Yeah, I was never racist. Really? What? You have zero discernment now just because the guy says I'm not? I didn't do it? Come on now. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much, sister. Always lovely to have you and have your godly input on things. And thanks for everyone in the chat and for your support, guys. We thank you. We want your prayers. We were meant to do Mubahala today, but this took a little
Lord
longer.
willing, it'll be another time. We have something planned for Saturday, but maybe next Wednesday we'll do the Mubahala. It'll be another film stream, so look out for that. So again, thank you everybody for joining us, and we really appreciate all the support and love. Like I said, that's the overwhelming majority of you. It's just a couple of voices that again, we want to be transparent, and we do want to show that we are accountable to the community here. So we want to just put everything out there and say, hey, look, this is why we believe Kenny is racist, and that was our reasoning, and so that's why we did this stream.
Okay, God bless you.
God bless you all. Take care.